Hey friends, it's Becky, and I want to share a little project using some beading thread and a needle, some super duos, and some 11-ohs to make this little super duo star earring. You can use this as a pendant or as components and link them up together to make necklaces or bracelets, but I thought that this would make a cute little earring. It's a fairly simple project. It doesn't take very long to work up, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Now I've got two different colors of seed beads that I'm using for this project. You can use just one color. The second color I've got here on the back so that I can make my little base for something to hang this from. And I'm using a tarnish resistant copper ear wire for this, but we're going to make these little stars. And I'm using some beads from my Adornable Elements Beads of the Month subscriptions. I subscribe to 2 of the Beads of the Month subscriptions. I get the seed bead subscription, which both of these came from this month, March, and then also the 2 whole bead subscription. And I love these fuchsia lined crystal super duos so much, and I just had to use them in another project. So I'm using these AB Cobalt 11-oh seed beads and these galvanized, they're kind of coppery color. I forget the actual color of these metallic seed beads. And then some 6-pound Fireline. I've already threaded it on my size 12 needle. And all you need really is an arm's length. So if you hold your spool of thread to your left shoulder, and then you've got the end of your thread in your right hand, you just extend your right hand out and away from you, that, like to the side, that'll give you a arm's length. It's pretty easy to grab that. So let's start this by picking up an 11-oh, a super duo, an 11-oh, and a super duo, and I'm going to do this until I have a total of 4 11-ohs and 4 super duos on my needle. And I have a little cloth on my bead board so that you can see the light color of thread that I have on here, because I have a very light color bead mat. And sometimes this crystal color beading thread blends into it, and I just want it to be more visible. So I have 4 of each of them right now, so let's get 1 more of each. You'll want to make sure that both holes are clear on all of your 2-hole seed beads before you begin. I went ahead and checked mine, and I'm just holding them together and then pulling on the thread to get them closer to the end. But I don't want them to go all the way off the end. I want to leave enough of my thread that I'll be able to do a little bit of knot tying later. So I'm going to go ahead and pinch this right there. And then I'm going to go through all of those beads one more time with my needle. Sometimes you can do them all at once, sometimes you can do them a little bit at a time. That looks like I got all of them straight through. And this will make a circle with my thread. It'll bring these together. There we go. It's a little bit loose here, so it'll tighten up a little bit when I go through this 11-oh, this next 11-oh, and the super duo. I just want to go through both those two. And now I can pull on my thread and tighten that up a little bit more. So now that I've got my little teeny tiny star started, I'm going to jump up to the second hole in the super duo. I'm coming out of this one down here. I'm going to jump up here to the second one with my thread. And now I'm going to pick up an 11-oh, a super duo, and an 11-oh. And move that a little bit out of the way. And then I'm going to go right into the next super duo through its second hole. And I'm going to continue doing that 5 times. 11-0, super duo, 11-0, and then go through that second hole in the next super duo in the row. I just want to go all the way around this piece. We're going to just power through this without editing this out because it's not going to take that long. It's only 5 of these. You can do this with any color of super duos and 11-0s that you wanted to. I just really wanted to use these hot pink ones, and these rainbow iris blue 11-0s are just so great with that. I love them together. This is just a color vibe that has been making me very happy lately. So I had to do this. All right, now I'm going to keep going just past this one. I'm not going to go through all of these again because as I go around, this will reinforce it when I add more of these beads along the outside edge. Just have to move a couple things that my glue is catching on. There we go. All right, so I'm coming out of this super duo bead right here. That was where I started over here, and this was the first super duo that I added on this second round. So now that I'm coming up out of that super duo, I'm going to pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 11-0s. This is still the first color of 11-0. And then I'm going to go around my super duo and go back through the same hole that I'm coming out of, but from the opposite side. And through that next 11-0 next to it. So that kind of gives me a little bit of a crown over that. Don't worry, we'll be coming back through and getting these so they won't be all wobbly and coming apart from that. But first we need to add a few more beads. I'm going to pick up 3 11-0s now here. And I'm coming out of this 11-0. I'm going to go into the next 11-0 and then out of that bottom hole on the next super duo. So we've got a little bit of a crown over there too. I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the first one. I'm going to pick up 7 11-0s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and go back through the super duo. I'm just making a loop around the super duo. Come through the super duo and that next 11-0. And then pick up 3 11-0s. It's like we're drawing an outline around our star. Which I feel like we need a little bit. Now for this I will do a little bit of editing. I'm going to do the same thing, 7 11-0s, going around that super duo, and then after you come out of that 11-0 next to it, we'll add 3, go into the next 11-0, then add 7 11-0s, go around my super duo, and then come out of this one, add 3, go into this one. So I'll meet you back here after I have finished all 5 of these, and I'll show you how we're going to be reinforcing them. Alright, so here we are. I've got most of these finished. I'm just going to add these last 3 11-0s right here at the end. And when I come in here, I'm going to go ahead and go through that 11-0 and the super duo Then when I come out the other side of the super duo, I want to come through the 11-0, and then I'm going to see how it's kind of flopping around. That's okay, because I'm going to tighten this up in a little bit. Now that I'm coming out of that 11-0, I want to go through the 3 11-0s that I added the last time. This is where we're going to reinforce this. And then I'm going to go up through these 11-0s. I'm going to go through 2 of the 11-0s that were in the group of 7 around the super duo. And then after I'm coming out of these 2 here, I'm going to go through the second hole in this outer super duo. Move that out of the way. Second hole. And then right up here, I'm going to go through these 2 11-0s on the other side, heading back down to where we added everything. Just kind of skipping those 3 along the top. And then I'm going to go through these 3 11-0s. So we're going through the super duos, but we're doing it by going through these 11-0s that we already added, right? And now that's not going anywhere. So I'm coming out of those 3 that I added during the last pass. I'm going to go up these next 2 11-0s up around the super duo, just 2 of them. From here, I'm going to sew through that second hole in the super duo. We're skipping these next 3 11-0s around the top, so 1, 2, 3, and I want to go down these 2 11-0s. So these 2 on this side, 2 on this side, 3 along the top, those are the original 7 that we added. To circle that. Just dropped that, and I have to find my place again. Yes, there we go. And now I can go through the 3 from the first time. And see how it's stiffening up a little bit. It will also stiffen up a lot more when we go through and add some of the beads along the backing. But now I want to go through those 2. The super duo, down 2, and through these 3. I've got 2 more here to do. So I will go ahead and keep the camera on while we do that. Now, I have been doing a project for the month of April, which is when I'm recording this, where I make a pair of earrings every day. And these are the earrings that I'm making for today. It's a little challenge that I challenged myself with, to just make a pair of earrings every day. And this is my one for April 5th. Like I said, these colors may not do anything for you, and that's totally fine. People like different things. But maybe some gold super duos with some 1, 2, 3. There go, those two. Yeah, like some gold superduos and maybe some silver seed beads. That would be kind of cool, really blingy. Be a good little star color. Alright, so now that that is finished and I've got all of those all done, I'm going to go through these two 11-Os, not 3 of them, just these first 2. So this is that group of 3, like that. I'm not going to go through that last one. I want to be coming out of that middle 11-O in that little section. And I'm going to flip this over to the back. We're going to add some of our color B 11-Os, and it will give us a good little foundation along the back. Just going to move that a little bit more out of the way. And I'm going to take the thread that is coming right out of this middle bead in that group of 3. It's coming out of the bead that's right on top of that super duo there. And I'm going to pick up 3 of my color B seed beads. And like I said, you can use just one color of seed beads. I could do just blue for this and it would probably be just fine. And then this little seed bead between the super duos in the middle, I'm going to sew through that. It's going to make a little line back there. I'm going to pick up 3 more super duos, or 3 more 11-Os. Did I say 11-Os the first time? I might not have. Sometimes my brain mixes things up and they come out wrong from my mouth hole. Okay, so I'm coming up from there. I'm going to identify that middle seed bead right above the super duo. It's the in that group of 3, it's that one in the middle. And it tends to just poke out a little bit in that grouping, so that might make it a little bit easier for you to see it. Because my star arms poke out so much, sometimes the thread will catch on it, so just be careful when you tighten that. It's going to make a little V or Y or something underneath each of these. So I'm coming out of that middle one again. I'm going to pick up 3 seed beads, go through that seed bead in the center row, pick up 3 more seed beads, go through that middle seed bead just there between in the saddle area of that, between the spokes. 1, 2, 3, down to the middle. That's what I mean by the thread will sometimes catch. That's getting a little bit loose, so I'm just going to pull that. That's my tail thread, so that hasn't been secured yet. I was leaving it for after I do this so that I can just tie both ends of my thread together. And then 1, 2, 3. A lot of times when you look at like super duo star tutorials, they'll have like 6 spokes, but I wanted a 5-pointed star. So that is what I'm making today. Go. You know, you could have this side facing front if you wanted to have that decoration along the front. It actually took me a little bit of time to kind of decide which side I wanted towards the front on that. And I did decide to go ahead and go with this one for my front side, but that would look really cool, I think. All right, 1, 1, 2, 3. Almost done with this. Yes, that's the same 11-0 that my tail thread is coming out of. I've got it kind of held off to the side. So it's not going to be very far for me to go to get it tied up. All right, I'm going back through that first 11-0 that I was coming out of when I flipped to the back. There. And I'm just going to add a few more seed beads here to make a loop by going through these 3 seed beads and then through these 2, but not all the way through that 3rd seed bead in that group, just the 2 seed beads. In that group, I'm going to pick up 5 more 11-0s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to go back into these 2 here. I'm skipping that first 11-0 on that opposite side of the V. I'm just going through the 2 on the opposite side of that V, like that. And then I'm just going to go back through that loop again, give it a little reinforcing by going up through those 2, across these 5, and because they're curved, you're not going to go through all 5 of them at a time. At least you shouldn't be able to. Down through here. And coming out of there, I'm just going to go through that 11-0 out of that super duo so that my threads are in the same spot. I'm just going to tie myself a little bit of a knot. I like surgeon's knots for my beading. That's where you cross over one side like a square knot. And then you do a second one, but when you loop it around, you go twice. So once, twice. Tight. And I've got my little thread burner here. Okay. Just want you to be nubs. All right. Now that I have that done, I can attach my ear wire. I'm going to grab some tools for that. Got my chain nose plier here. I can just swing open the loop on my ear wire, put it through this loop that I created on the back. Swing it open a little bit wider. There we go. And then close that. All right. And there we go. This is day 5 of my earrings every day, and I used my Adornable Elements subscription. I should be getting my April box pretty soon so that I can share that with you. I'm looking forward to that. I'll put a link to Adornable Elements in my description below. It is a fantastic monthly bead kit where you can select from a variety of monthly bead boxes. Like I said, I get the 2-hole beads and the seed beads of the month. I also get the rotating beads of the month club. So you can get some really fun things with that. But I love my little pink and blue star earrings, and I hope you love them too. Until next time, happy beading.